Welcome to another video presentation from Eric M. Pelton and Associates. I'm Eric Pelton.
And I'm Mark Donahue.
And we're pleased to be talking today about 5 steps for protecting your brand. We're stepping back here a little bit from the particulars of the trademark application, trademark registration, and legal particulars related to trademark law. And we're just talking in general about 5 things that brand owners should be aware that will help enhance the protection of their brand.
Yeah, the first thing, when you're launching a new brand, you're taking a product to market. First thing, do a search. Find potentially conflicting marks out there. This can be a search of the USPTO's database of trademark registrations and applications. But you ought to go broader than that. Ideally, you do a comprehensive search, you enlist the help of an attorney, because a mark doesn't have to be registered in order to cause a problem. And you want to know what's out there, you want to know whether or not there's going to be a conflict later on down the road before you've got a lot invested in your mark.
And by doing a proper clearance search, you're basically starting on a solid foundation. If you do a proper search and it comes back clean, you've done your due diligence and you're now building your brand on a solid foundation. If you don't do a proper search when you start a new product name, service, business name, you're basically taking a risk that that foundation that your brand is going to be built on, it has a hole in it or is weak or is rotting. And that can, of course, come back to haunt you and could cost you a lot of money or cause interruption with your business.
It's a big risk. It's your name you're gambling with. So
correct. So that was step 1. That was tip number 1. Tip number 2 in protecting your brand is to register your brand names with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. There is some investment involved, but the benefits of a trademark registration are great, not only in terms of enhancing the value of your brand name as an asset, but in the legal protection that it's provided and the notice to others by appearing in the USPTO's database and by being able to use the registered trademark symbol, the R within a circle. So the investment in registering your brand is a very important step to protecting your brand.
yeah, it also creates a tangible asset, which is oftentimes very important. I mean, it allows you to establish for others, for any purpose really, that you have exclusive rights to that mark in connection with the goods and services that you offer, and it's very important, as you'll see in these other steps as well.
And our next step in protecting your brand is to register other marks as well. And what we mean by other marks are logo designs, slogans, or anything else that is unique and identifies your products and services uniquely. Sometimes it could be a element of your product's design. Sometimes it could be the packaging for your product. It could be a sound, if you have a unique sound in the advertising of your services, like the NBC chimes.
It could be an aspect of the uniform worn by the people who provide your services, or the building that you use to market them.
All of these things are assets that companies and businesses invest in to grow and make their brands unique, and oftentimes they forget to stop along the way and protect them and make those assets even stronger and even more valuable.
Yeah, so we always suggest taking stock and figure out, how do customers recognize your product and distinguish it from your competitors, and go try and protect those aspects to make sure that, you remain distinctive. The fourth is monitor for possible infringements. You have the obligation to protect your mark, and so one of the easiest ways to do that is to go out and set up a Google alert, and it'll send you an email daily, if you like, about other instances of your a term or word that maybe is a significant part of your mark being used by others on the internet. You should watch other registrations at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Ideally, you want to get an attorney who's involved in trademark law, perhaps a watch service that specializes in this, because there's great value in finding a potential infringer early on in the process.
Yeah, so it's important not just to know about copycats or infringements and to be able to deal with them, but it's important to know about them as soon and as quick as possible, because the quicker you can communicate to another company that there's a problem here with the trademark, the much greater chance of resolving it affordably, quickly, and without a protracted legal dispute. The more time that the other company has invested and the more resources they've invested in launching that brand name or that trademark, the more fight they're going to have to put up to defend it, because they've got so much more on the line. So if you can find out about possible infringers right away and then communicate to them right away, generally through an attorney with a demand letter or some sort of communication, you will have a much greater chance of success and of a quick and not overly expensive dispute.
Right. And to be clear, not every infringer is someone who's trying to steal from you or trade off your goodwill. Oftentimes, it's competitors or others in the marketplace who've skipped step one and haven't done a search and don't realize you're out there, or thought that their mark was different enough to avoid confusion. And those are the people we're talking about. Those are a lot of the concerning uses, right. And you want to get to those people. They'll go away, if you talk to them early on. They don't mean to cause a problem most of the time.
And this transitions right into our fifth and final step for protecting your brand, is to remain proactive. So it's to do all of these things that we've discussed about in the first four steps over and over again. Every time you have a modification to your brand name, or a new product, or a new service with a new name that you're offering, or a new logo design, it's to go back to step one, do a search, register it, reevaluate your intellectual property portfolio every 6 months or every year. Make sure that nothing slipped through the cracks. I work with clients all the time who came up with, for an example, a great name for a newsletter or a blog. And at the time, it didn't even occur to them that that was something protectable and valuable, and they didn't stop to do a search and register it. But if they set a plan every year or every few months to look at everything that their business is doing and communicating to their customers, then they can catch it early on and take the proper steps to clear it and file it and maximize the protection for it.
Yeah, taking that time will make sure you know what you have that's valuable, and you'll know that you're taking the steps necessary to make sure it's protected.
And all of this, of course, is because a brand is a very important investment to any business, particularly today where brands are able to grow so quickly and spread through the internet and social media platforms, and even be used by customers and interact with customers on the internet and social media channels, that protecting a brand properly is more important than ever, and brands are more valuable assets than ever. So we just want to thank you for joining us today to learn about 5 steps for protecting your brand. Reminder, if you have any specific questions about your brand, your trademarks, we recommend you consult an attorney. Nothing here has been formal legal advice. And today's presentation is copyright 2012, Eric M. Pelton and Associates, PLLC.
Thank you.
Thank you.